How long do you think it took you to create that culture? To have that acceptance, to get people to feel like it is a safe place? How long does it take to create that?
Yeah, so I would say that from a relational perspective, I've had that with my people for a long time, because it's my character, that I would just I'm interested in people. I like people, and those that are working with us, they're there because I like them and they like us, and so. So I've had the foundation of that, where people feel that there's a genuine interest to see people succeed. But probably when that started to change and grow much faster, or almost like what was kind of, the oxygen that was given to that, is actually when we started to study books together. And it took me studying as a leader and to understand. And then we started to, hey, you know what? When we have our company meetings, so number one, having regular company meetings, it's hard because we're all busy, right? But having regular company meetings, this is, the more you do this, the more consistent you are, the more you define the bullseye, and you may not always hit the bullseye, but you get closer to it every time. And so when we started to study books together, 5 Dysfunctions of Team, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So what happened with that is we started to learn together, and people started to understand, not just we're telling you to do this because we're the boss, but now you have understanding why we're doing this, and what is the why behind that. But we also now have common language together. So when we talk about a safe place to speak, we understand what that means. So these terminologies, they come up. We're on this journey together, and I liken it to this, and it's almost from a marriage perspective, not as important as a marriage, but as that often when we get married, we're like we're not the same people, but maybe a couple degrees off, but a lot of similarities. But over time, we end up in very different places. If in fact we're not very intentional about always bringing ourselves together, right? And so as a company, when you're talking about the core group, the core leadership group, that we're more different people than in marriage. We're very diverse, really, but the commonalities of respect and what we're striving for continue to bring us together because we're learning those things, those concepts together. And those aren't things that I'm leading; those are things that they're leading. So we get a book and we choose somebody who's doing the next chapter. And we deal with, we're in a labor industry, which generally speaking is not necessarily the highest educated industry, right? And so that's not comfortable for a lot of people to stand before your coworkers, and to lead a study on a chapter. And that's great. That's what I want. I want them to feel that they're going to do something that they probably never did very well in school, and was probably up late at night, sweating it, but I want them to feel that you're now in a safe enough place that you can do this imperfectly, but you are going to do it. And I also want them to on their own time to sit at home, read the chapter, look up some intelligent questions, come dialogue with me or one of the other people to say, hey, how should I do this? How can I do this well? And the satisfaction that they have, once they do it well, and everyone claps like, hey, well done. And they're like, oh my goodness, I never got this praise in school before. Yeah. And it is remarkable. I see it, and now once I saw it so clearly with a few people. When all of a sudden I got one guy that's in his, mid-20s and his 30s, and I see that he's done something well. We got a raving review from a customer, something like that. And then in front of everybody, I can say, hey, Tom, Mark, John, you know what? Well done with this customer. You hit it all the ballpark. You just did such a fantastic job, and we really, really appreciate it. And I can look and I can see that person has not had wind in their sails for a very long time. And all of a sudden they start to flourish, practice the power of praise. And these people start to become the best versions of themselves. It's a journey, you know. We all have our own baggage, but you know, so it starts with little things like that. And those are some of the kind of principles where I kind of felt that we were in a growth stage. We were on that trajectory where we were going forward and up. And then once we refined those concepts and put them into practical ways to say, this is who we are. This is not by accident. If you're going to lead here, this is who you need to become. And then we exercise those. Then we started to soar faster and farther.